So I'm going to give you a brief introduction of interaction design program. So just a little clarification that, so what I'm introducing here is the senior year program, meaning our expectation for you is you already finish associate degree or higher diploma. Okay, so are you all like having that credential or about to graduate? Put up your hands. No? Or how many of you have already been out of school and started working? No? Put up your hand. No? Be bold. All current students? Mostly? Okay. All right. Okay, maybe we wait for a little bit. Okay. So I will try to keep my own talk short to leave a little bit more room for you to ask a question to us, okay? So today, the first part would be me. The second part, we have one guest student do a sharing. And then after that, we do Q&A, okay? So how many of you have a very rough idea of what is interaction design? Put up your hand. This is not a class, right? Don't be shy. So just, you think you know what that is? You have no clue what interaction design, I got one hand. You have no clue what interaction design is. Then you put up your hand. Oh, good, okay. So we have like half. So I'm going to explain a little bit, right? Because interaction design in the context of School of Design, because we have so many disciplines, right? So this is relatively new, right? In terms of discipline. And also the, the presence of this discipline in the design industry is relatively recent. So let's start from a review or a little comparison between designed products here. Right. So this one is Sony wireless portable speaker. So you can take it out to your hiking trip, right? It plays sound, it's waterproof, which means it's a nice product, okay? And then similarly, if you think about Amazon smart speaker Echo, it plays sound, but it has voice control, so you can give instruction to the speaker. And it also acts like a smart home hub, right? And it's installed with Alexa. So it's an agent, it's a smart agent. Can answer a certain question. You can ask, what's the weather today, okay? And also connect to other Internet of Things in your home. So we call this type of speaker a smart speaker, right? And right now we have, okay, this is before ChatGPT, right? But we already have some like intelligent agent that acting like a person. Okay, so this is, you can see the difference here, right? So what is a traditional product and what is a so-and-so quote-unquote smart product, okay? And then we have this Bruce Lee really nice exhibition in the Heritage Museum. It's super popular, right? And then the museum space recreate, part of it is Bruce Lee's own home and also some other like a movie set, right, and with some of the artifacts. And then this is actually student work from our own students. So they recreate this space in a metaverse universe, right? So this is one of our co-op project. They create Bruce Lee metaverse, and you can go in, not just walk around, but also interact with certain objects as well. So it gives you a different experience, right? So if you see these two, like this comparison, you can also get a feel, okay, what is the interaction, right? So start to think about it. And then, so if these comparison, this one and this one, you can see there's more interaction in this, designed into the experience or designed into the product, right? And then this is more straightforward. You also know we're using mobile apps every single day, right? So of course, this is expected. Our students create traditional sense of mobile application, but they also try to be creative to tackle day-to-day problem, emotional problem. So they actually, not just for utility, not just like I create a mobile app for you to, for example, bookkeeping, right? For you to kind of record your spending. It's not. So it could be experience driven. So this one is self-healing, right? So this is kind of tackle your emotion issue. And this one is a sound, it's a location-based sound story application, right? So you go to different spot of Hong Kong, and then the app will trigger a different story for you. The story is supposed to happen in that spot, right? So this is also very experience-driven. And then, of course, we know all these kind of Internet of Things, find your stuff, right? So all these, right? And also all the smart, like a Fitbit, right? So smart bracelet. This is also our student. So this is just add on to the previous product and experience design. I was talking about our students also deal with a lot of virtual reality. So they create games. For example, this game is for virtual reality, but we do have other, for example, museum experience virtual reality, or we have not based in virtual reality, but other type of games, okay? So, in conclusion, so I mentioned, right, definitely in our program, you need to learn how to design interactions, which means your product or your app, your design, how does it interact with the human being, with your user. So it's not a one-off thing, it's an ongoing relationship. The interaction is ongoing. And how do you enable that interaction? You've got to have interface, right? So for example, mobile UI, right, you know, right? So what information should be included, what button you should have to enable people to interact, right? So how do you create the interface? And for hardware, for product, right? And there's a little bit layer of like the physical interface on top of it. And then, of course, at the end, ultimately, we're designing interface. We're designing experiences, right? So it's an interactive experiences. So basically, that's interaction design, okay? So I'm using this student work. This is a student capstone work, which is their graduation project. I'm not saying this is what you're going to do. I like this example because this example really give you a hybrid kind of like a design, right? So for example, this design is about, it's a system, right? So it comes with hardware, a smart kind of weight sensor based coaster that can measure the consumption of your alcohol. So with this smart function that you know how much consumption the user has like drank alcohol, and then you can enable different experience. For example, if you want to monitor the consumption, right? So for this person not to drink too much, right? And then if you pack with it is a mobile app, and then you can actually send a reminder, and also you can involve the bar as part of the stakeholder, right? The bartender might send you a soft notice through the app saying, okay, you probably drink enough today, right? Maybe we should call it a day, like as a soft reminder, right? So this is a very typical interaction design project. And also, of course, for the app part, you will design the core UI and the function and then the use flow, right? So that's pretty much about what interaction does. And here is, this part is about our program. So what you're going to do, so you will be learning how to conduct user research. How do you understand your users' needs and wants, right? And then you will also create these like wireframes, right? So this is the UI, right? And then how, step by step, right, the user is interacting with your design, right? So you will need to create these user interface and also create this flow. And then you will also learn how to create prototypes. So not just by drawing, you know, the line UI, but you also need to create software and hardware prototypes and for testing. So this is like you create something, we require you to test it on real people and collect the feedback to see whether it is what you expected. And then this is a typical demo day. So for bigger studio project or capstone project, we will have this, right? So you need to demonstrate your design, not just by explaining against a poster, for example, but you also need to kind of show your prototype, right? And to people how it works. You need to be able to talk about it. So this part, I'm sure you already visited our booth, right? So that's like how we typically exhibit all of our work. And then let's be practical. What you can do after graduation. And this is the typical job titles our graduates hold after graduation. So you can take a look. This is usually by the most the most common one, right? And the least common one. So these are the representative types of job you can basically perform after graduation. And the list goes too long because our program traced back to the old program called Interactive Media, which ran for 11 years already. So we already have 11 cohorts. And then I cannot exhaust all the company names, but just a gist of it. So they pretty much scattered around these sectors, quite widespread. I haven't mentioned those, like a few individuals actually end up in software company, IT company. It's less representative, but we do have a few. But this is most common ones, right? So our student end up. Okay, a gist of it, we can go back to it if you have interest. So this is our course structure. So this is what you will be doing in year 3, basically your first year, right? So equivalent to year 3 and year 4. And then these are the different type of courses you need to fulfill, okay? And then what you need for the study, we developed this, this aptitude web, that these are the essential skills we're looking for when we're recruiting students. So you can take a look. You need to know how to communicate. You need to know how to collaborate. These are actually quite important. You need to have some design thinking ability and some aesthetic sense. You probably don't need to know how to draw really good, but you need to have that sense because we do have a visual layer to our design, right? And technical skill, we ask for a little bit. Empathy. So for this, I want to emphasize, just don't be scared of it, okay? So if you're like, okay, I'm happy, I'll go there and study it, then that's fine, right? But if you're like basically a phobia, oh, I don't want to learn anything coding, give it a second thought. But coding is not the central skill in interaction design program. For those people who are really serious, this is the timeline. So basically, what we do is a little bit different from other programs. We do look at your portfolio, but actually after application, we have an initial screening. And we invite those people who's on our short list. We invite them to submit video. We don't ask you to make the video now because we also want to wait a little bit until you have more work to show, right? And then, so that's the timeline. And last, I promise this is the last slide. So the main team member here, you see me there, and we have deputy program leader. So you can see our expertise at our PhD doctoral study level, we cover very different areas. So we have different angles to look at interaction design and to contribute to the teaching of interaction design. So this is the main teaching areas the four of us have. We do have other like temporary and part-time other faculty members. These are the main four. And then I think that part of mine is done. So meet our students. I have one student. I'll hand over to Marco. Should I get off?
我啱啱我哋 program leader 分享咗，即係其實我哋科讀乜嘢啦。咁我分享下我哋喺學校係點樣啦。咁我相信大家入嚟都好想要 U Life 啦。咁 U Life 大家想象係點樣呢？好好玩，都幾好玩嘅，係幾好玩嘅。咁大家應該嚟自唔同嘅 discipline 啦。咁啱啱可能老師問過，即係大家喺邊度嚟啦，或者有冇做過嘢啦。咁不過大家可能怕醜冇舉手唔緊要。咁樣我哋都講下啦。我自己咧其實咧唔係 HKCC， 唔係 ConU Space， 我係 Ivy 嘅。咁我 Ivy 讀嘅嘢咧，其實都同 interactive media 咧都有少少遠嘅咁樣。咁啱啱都聽老師講啦，即係大概 interactive media sorry 係 interaction design 而家 interaction design 係咩啦？因為我係 interactive media 係啦，今年轉咗名咁樣。其實講啲乜嘢咧？咁我讀咗2年 high dip 啦，然之後我又做咗1年嘢，有1年半嘢啦，做咗。咁我做咗2間其實係好類似 digital media 嘅公司嚟嘅，但係我點解會讀 interaction design 咧？咁我都會講下嘅咁樣。咁我入嚟讀翻書之前，咁我喺 Ivy 畢業啦。咁跟住我做過唔同公司，我有拍嘢啊嗰樣嘢，即係我經驗都係喺 digital media 為主嘅。咁但係咧有一個原因令我就係我突然間覺得其實我會想去發掘多啲關於 interactive 嘅嘢，因為其實我會發現你 digital media 可能拍嘢啊、影相啊，或者可能做 theatre。我之前係做啲 stage 啊、theatre 嘢啦，做演唱會啦。咁但係其實嗰啲都係一啲比較我 as 一個觀眾，其實我係一個第三者嘅角度去望呢件事嘅。咁其實我得到嘅資訊咧係人哋 design 俾我嘅，我係冇份參與嘅。咁我就喺度諗，我當年讀舞台嘅時候，其實都有啲係我哋叫做 immersive stage 啦。即係其實觀眾係會參與喺個 stage 嘅中間，係一部分嚟嘅咁樣。咁我就覺得其實好得意啊！咁我之後咧，我就慢慢想 explore 多少少啦。同埋咧，其實我就睇到呢條片。咁咧，其實咧，啱啱見到有個人啦，入咗去個布入邊咧，其實個人喺後面跳舞嘅。咁其實佢着咗啲motion tracking 嘅一啲 shoot 啦。咁佢入邊有啲波波點點喺件衫度，有啲 camera 做一個 motion tracking 咧，就可以將一個 virtual 嘅世界同埋現實嘅世界咧，我哋就 link up 咗，咁樣都幾得意嘅。咁不過今日時間我哋就唔講太多啦。咁但係最主要就係呢個原因咧，令到我就會覺得其實我想喺表達我自己嘅信息嘅時候，唔係淨係令到我嘅觀眾成為第三方去感受呢一件事。我認為 interaction 咧都係一個好好嘅方法去表達下自己嘅意念嘅咁樣。咁點解？咁講下啦。咁大家講完點解要讀啦？咁點樣 prepare 你嘅 portfolio 咧？其實都係好簡單、好行嘅嘢啦。最主要都要清晰啦，好 structuralize 啦，唔好東一忽西一忽咁樣啦。另外其實 AR、VR 嘅 reference 都係好嘅，因為其實大家都好似未必好明白 interaction design 究竟係即係 require 啲乜嘢嘅 reference 咧咁樣。可以俾少少方向，AR、VR 啊，都係其中一個可以交嘅 reference 啦。一啲 game 啊同埋 tangible 嘅 design 咧都係適合嘅咁樣。咁當然啦，如果你冇咁點算咧？啱啱阿先講過話要即係如果你要交條片咧，要交條 demo video 喎。咁條 demo video 要做啲乜嘢咧？咁可能如果你有做過 AR、VR 啊，或者做過 game 啊 tangible design 咧，都係可以交嘅。咁我當年咧就交咗個係我一個工作相關係一個 tracker 嚟嘅，係一個 camera tracker。一啲做 virtual production 嘅嘢，其實就係講緊虛擬世界同埋一個真實世界嘅 camera 佢哋嘅嗰個關係，其實都係有少少 interactive 嘢嘅咁樣。即係其實唔一定係完全係 AR、VR 或者 game 嘅，可以係好多唔同類型。因為 interaction 其實我同大家講嘢都係 interaction 嚟嘅，咁樣都係一種可以去表達嘅嘢啦，咁樣。另外好啦，之後 move on 落去講下咧，就係我哋 studio 嘅生活啦。其實我哋 SD 咧係非常之好嘅， 我哋咧就係有自己嘅 studio 嘅，即係我哋有自己嘅課室嘅。咁啊，呢個課室係屬於我哋班啦。咁我哋喺嗰度上堂啊，我哋可能做功課啊，或者做溫習都會喺個 studio 度啦。咁啊，呢啲我哋 studio 嘅一啲生活啦，我哋喺度做嘢啊，我哋可能一齊喺度食飯啊，我哋有時可能做得攰喺度休息啊咁樣。咁同埋呢度亦都係混雜咗我哋班嘅一個 bonding 嘅地方嚟嘅咁樣。咁啊，我哋班啦其實好開心嘅咁樣。咁啊我哋會慶祝生日啦，咁樣我哋一齊會做 project 啦，咁樣我哋會出街食飯啦，我哋會 BBQ。其實呢度係 Poly 紅磡嘅 hall 嚟嘅，唔係紅磡 sorry 何文田，呢個係新 hall 啊，呢個係咁樣。咁可以 BBQ，我哋一齊去咗 BBQ 啦，咁樣。咁啊，我哋之前有啲 exchange 嘅同學嘅，咁啊 exchange 嘅同學佢即係臨走啊，或者佢經過香港，我哋都會一齊食飯啦，咁樣。咁主要其實係非常之開心嘅，雖然我哋只係2年，但係呢2年都覺得非常之充實愉快咁樣。咁啊，頭先都講過啦，咁我哋 School of Design 我哋做啲咩嘅咧？最主要我哋咧就係 VR、AR 啦，有啲 game design 啦、tangible design 啦、UI、UX 就係嗰啲 interface 啊，即係你電話、手機嘅一啲程式啊，或者係點樣同人去點樣俾到你嘅一個 user 一個體驗咧？就係我哋都會做呢方面嘅 design 嘅，另外都會好着重教 design research 啦，一啲 research 嘅 method 啦，同埋 design 嘅 principle， 咁都會涵蓋到嘅咁樣。咁另外我哋都有 service learning 啦 ，service learning 我哋都會同其他唔同嘅 faculties 嘅同學去做啲 project 啊咁樣，你會認識到新嘅同學咯喎，咁樣係我哋仲有其他嘅 CAR A 啊、CAR M 啊好多咁樣，即係認識到好多唔同嘅朋友，就唔係淨係 School of Design 嘅咁樣。咁當然啦，我哋有 elective 嘅 elective School of Design 啦，咁都可以識到其他科嘅同學啦，咁樣。咁啊，講咗咁多，我就最後個 part 啦，就係講下其實咁我自己做咗啲乜嘢咧，咁樣。咁我都可以分享少少嘅，咁樣。講冇聲嘅，好簡單講下。咁我上個 sem 咧就係 Studio 2，咁啊做咗一個街市嘅公磅啦。咁但係我就 renew 咗呢件事，即係 rebrand 咗佢，咁樣成為一個係有多啲 function 可以話到俾人聽。其實你買呢件 product 嘅時候，有幾多廚餘量會產生咧？從而可以教育翻我哋嘅 user 咧，佢究竟有啲乜嘢嘅廚餘係可以 avoid 啊，或者係可以點樣 deal with 嗰啲廚餘啦。咁我哋真係落街市做 test 嘅，我哋真係喺街市揾啲家庭主婦啊，或者係一啲街市買餸嘅檔販咧，去做一啲嘅測驗，即係其實睇下我哋個 product 究竟係咪真係 suitable 啦，或者我哋有啲咩可以改進咁樣。咁另外咧都有做過啲 game design 嘅，咁 game design 其實咧我哋都有做啲，呢個係一個 VR game 嚟嘅，咁呢個係阿花仙教嘅啲科係，即係個 game design 啦。我哋做咗個類似呢個，當年我唔知大家有冇玩過，就係呢個叫做 Fruit Ninja 水果忍者。咁你做咗個燒味忍者出嚟，就係 VR 嘅，你就攞住把刀去切燒味啦。咁你就有落糖味啦、好嘢味啦，同埋原石味啦，咁樣係啦。我哋成日都問嘅問題嚟嘅，係啊，留意下啲檔嘅名啊，幾有趣啊，咁樣係啦。主要就係咁樣啦。咁啊，各位同學有啲咩興趣發問都可以問翻我哋嘅老師，謝謝大家。
Shanna just told me we have plenty of time, so we can take a lot of questions. Any questions? We don't really teach computer language. I think you just need to learn how to use those interactive prototyping tools, right? So the common one recently is Figma. So things like that. So it's not that hard. But for example, if you're really into game, you use Unity. And then if you wanted the little objects in the game to behave the way you want, you probably need to add a little bit of C# scripting. So it's not really low-level programming, definitely no need, just a higher level at a scripting level. For example, some of the tangible design, we use Arduino, right? Then you need to know basically it's, put it this way, you just need to know how to steal code. So, okay, like you have an Arduino component. For example, you want to connect it. Remember the example I showed, they use a weight sensor, right? So you just need to know, okay, from the internet, you have the source code, right? How to kind of operate or get to the output from the weight sensor. And then your Arduino, how to read the input And based on the input, your program make a decision, right? So like, and then enter your, basically your side of the app, right? So every little functions, actually you can find the source code on the internet. So all you need to do is you know how to connect it to Arduino, right? So you know how to stitch together the source code, and you know input, output, so basic. You know the program structure. And then, you know, off you go, right? So that's why I'm saying for the technical skill part, you just need to have that spirit, a little bit of a hacker's spirit, a little bit of, I want to know how this works. I go to YouTube, I go to those, internet tutorial, I learn it, right? So I just need to know how to use it, and I don't really need to write the code from scratch. So that's the level we're at. Yeah. Any more questions? For Marco? Any question for? So so Marco is year 2 equivalent to year 4, so he's doing his capstone right now. Yeah, so one more semester go, right, and then graduate again. Yes. So yeah, just feel free to ask questions. Anything? Quick. Yeah, you can ask Cantonese. We have Marco here.
英文 OK， 中文都 OK， 兩文三語我哋。
Anything about how to prepare the application, for example, or you're a little bit worried about your original training background, right? Your original associate degree or diploma courses. If you have a question about that, this is the golden chance to ask. If you think, oh, maybe it's not too related to interaction design, am I still eligible? This kind of question are welcome too.